Thank you. Just welcome to Minister Helen McEntee. Congratulations, Minister, to you and your family, and it is great to have you here. You're here, of course, on the Criminal Justice Incitement to Violence or Hatred and Hate Offences Bill 2022. And Minister, as you're aware, and as we can all see here today, words have power. And as you've noted very clearly, our hate crimes are on the increase. The Guards have stated very clearly 29%, of an increase. And you even highlighted that the most common of those crimes were against race, sexual orientation and nationality. So it's a fact, it is a fact, that in our society there are crimes against individuals because of where they're from, how they live, the colour of their skin. And that those crimes are being perpetuated today in Ireland, in our democracy, in our republic. And it is necessary that we as a government, have to put legislation in place. And it is about protecting the most vulnerable in our society. It is about making sure that people do not have their freedoms taken away. They also have the freedom to live as they wish. They have the freedom to live in Ireland and not be fearful when they walk outside their door, not be fearful about maybe where they decide to socialise, where they decide to visit, how they decide to practice their religion. They should be free to do that in our society. And currently, from the reports that you've given us here, that is not the case. And from what we hear ourselves, that's not the case. I have many friends, and I want them to know, that they can live here in Ireland free from the type of crimes that are driven and motivated by people who dislike and hate them because of who they are and where they come from and the colour of their skin, and for all those other identity characteristics that you've highlighted here as the reasons for this bill. I've listened carefully to the debate here today, and Minister, you'll be aware that there is a lot of debate and discussion about the importance of freedom of expression and how we need to guarantee that in our society. But it can be at no cost. It can't be that we have it at no cost. There has to be a balance. It cannot be a case that we in Ireland, excuse me? Thank you. It cannot be the case that we live in a society that does not allow people to live without that fear. And Minister, in the bill and in the legislation that you've brought before us, I know that this started, as you've stated, back in 2019. I know that there has been public consultation on this. I know that you have engaged with different stakeholders and your department and the officials on this. And I know that it is a process where you've compared the legislation that we have in place here with international norms and to look at what best will work within our system, our jurisdiction, our society, and what will best benefit and protect the minorities here in Ireland. We are a growing population, 5.2 million. We have schools in my own area, as senators have stated here, 19, 20 different nationalities in a school, different languages. The integration of different people who've come, new communities to our country, it's happening now in towns and villages and cities. And it's happening at a rapid pace, a very rapid pace. And we are trying to keep up with that by providing capacity, by providing childcare places and school places and beds in hospitals. We're trying to keep pace with this. But it's a challenge because, we live in a place where we were struggling with lack of investment in infrastructure for many decades. And yet now we have a boom. We have an incredible boost to our society with all these new communities coming here. But there are challenges, and we need to be cognizant of the fact that our communities, traditional, Irish, Indigenous, along with new communities coming to Ireland, are trying to adapt. But we need to make sure that everyone here is feeling safe. And right now, that's not the case. Minister, I know that you will be listening to this debate this evening. I know that you're going to be taking a lot of the comments on board. You'll be engaging with all groups on this. I want to really acknowledge the contributions from many people. I suppose Senator Eileen Flynn as well, I think, was very powerful. Senator Barry Ward, I think, spoke very strongly here as well about what has been put out in the media in relation to this bill and how this has to be based on fact. And Minister, I do believe as well in your speech you highlighted that this is evidence-based as well. I know that you're going to be speaking to this in the time ahead and when we have this. And I just want to acknowledge the efforts that are made here to make sure that Ireland is a place that protects the most vulnerable, and that's what this bill is about. Gurmi Lamagat, and I'm very much cognizant of the time as well. Cahirlock.
I can bring in another speaker
if you wish.
No, but you can come back in.
I'd rather not.
So can I continue?
I go to Senator.
So thank you, Cahirlock. If that's all right, I can.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Minister, I suppose in your comments, will the Minister get a chance to respond? Obviously not.
No.
So, no. Minister, I will look forward to your response. Of course, when you come back into the chamber here, I understand that people want to look at time, to give this so much time, but this process has been going since 2019, Minister. We need to put this in place. We need to have something in place as soon as possible. And I think that, giving it time, you will be doing that. You will be coming into the chamber here. You'll be engaging around amendments and so on. But I do think it's very important that we see this legislation enacted and that it's put in place in Ireland as soon as possible. Gurmi Lamagat, thank you.
Next on the